almost 100% of you would be asked this question. Tell me about yourself. So you start with your name and how it's pronounced, where you studied medicine, and where you are today. What type of clinical experience are you going through? Be sure to highlight US clinical experience and what's relevant to the residency position you're seeking, and make sure you highlight that you don't have any clinical gaps even if you graduated, and everything you're doing that is relevant to clinical training and research. So don't show that you're just sitting there doing nothing waiting for the match. Okay, why did you apply to our program is by far the most common question after tell me about yourself. And here I want you guys to look at the program's website and pick what appeals to you and your personality. For example, if you're focused on good training, then you can mention the high faculty to student ratio in this program, the multiple training sites that would give you a variety and diversity of patients, probably community service if you like. And if the program has an opportunity for research, if it's affiliated with a university or it's an academic program. Almost every interviewer would ask you, why did you choose this specialty? So I want you to mention a clinical encounter and not just a single event, rather, multiple clinical encounters, maybe in your med school rotations or your elective rotations, US clinical experience. Mention why you liked this subject or specialty. And if you're, for example, choosing internal medicine, you want to do primary care, mention why you want to do it. Like, it's broad, it manages the patient as a whole. But if you want to subspecialize, you can also mention that you want to do a fellowship and why you liked it, but you're still keeping your options open. You're not hard set on. A really common residency question is, why do you want to do residency in the US? Here, you could compare it to your home country and say that the electronic healthcare system here makes everything fully integrated. Patients' records are always here. Patients' autonomy is highly emphasized, and the patient is always in control. Their health information is protected by HIPAA privacy and security. There is availability of so many subspecialties and fellowship training if you want to pursue it later on. The allied healthcare professionals like nurse practitioners and physician assistants makes physicians' lives easier. And there is the availability of cutting edge technology, and the fact you can do clinical trials is more available here than in other countries. So, a question I've been asked myself was, what are the qualities of a good resident physician from your point of view? Here you can say that a good resident has to be resilient, adaptable, responsible, has to put patient care a priority, has to be courteous with his fellow residents, and obviously punctual, on time, has to be diligent, and has to manage their time well, being a good time manager, having time for their family, time to rest, plus time to work, obviously. Now, if you keep on mentioning all these good qualities, you gotta have some of them, because the next automatic question would be, which of these qualities do you have? And you'd have to prove it in a way or another. So be prepared.